Well, Mukesh, thank you very much for those generous words. It's my indeed a pleasure for me to welcome you all on the first commencement session of TiE Institute, where entrepreneurs are educating entrepreneurs. It is a very proud moment for all of us, and I'd like to extend a special welcome to some of the distinguished people here. Many of our TiE board members are here who have also contributed in the faculty of the program. But I would like to extend welcome to our keynote speaker, whom I'll be introducing a little bit later. She is a huge supporter to the community and herself an immigrant in 1980s and have fought for immigrant causes for last 3 decades. So thank you very much for accepting our invitation to come and deliver our first commencement speech. We have here Claudia Krebeck from OCE. Thank you very much for coming for our session. OCE has been a huge supporter to TiE Institute, and thank you for all the support you've done. We have Joan Spence from the Youth Entrepreneurial Program of the Ministry of Economic Development and Innovation. And thank you, Joan. Without her support and without the support of the Government of Ontario, we would not have been able to organize TiE Institute. And we thank you very much for your generous contribution and operational guidance as we went along. A small bit of correction. We started about 11 years ago in Toronto. So when we started in 2001, our purpose was fostering entrepreneurship. And our first activity which we did, and which is still going very strong, is mentoring. Were successful entrepreneurs on one side and aspiring entrepreneurs to help support their role. And we organized workshops and meetings and facilitated one-to-one interaction between a successful entrepreneur as well as an aspiring entrepreneur. And that activity is still doing very well. We have 62 mentors on our team as our charter members who are contributing. In 2005, we came across another idea and we developed that, and that has been going very, very strong, and that's called TiE Quest Business Venture Competition. We wanted to create a platform to help jumpstart entrepreneurs by bringing them together, competing against each other, and then linking them with the investors. And we recently concluded our TiE Quest 2012, which was our 8th competition in that series, and 181 different ideas came through that competition in all kinds of areas. They were in information and communication technology, they were in healthcare, they were in clean tech. You talk at big data, you talk cloud computing, you talk social media, you talk medical devices, diagnostic tools and whatnot. The 181 bright new ideas came in. And we're very happy with the success of that program over the years, because we've been able to create a number of success stories. Over 30 different companies who raised financing, achieved substantial growth, as well as some of them have also exited. But it was last year when we started TiE Institute, I think we found our calling. That was the program where we were really linking directly with the aspiring entrepreneurs. And I'm very happy that in our first year, we've been able to help over 300 aspiring entrepreneurs through this program in providing various types of educational workshops. So that is huge in the very first year, and this is just the beginning. And I know we are sowing seeds for something which is going to grow much bigger and probably develop into a more like a mainstream entrepreneurial education program. Many of these participants were doing very well. 21% of TiE Quest participants this year, or contestants, were participants of TiE Institute, which I'm very, very happy to announce, to say. And what excites me more is that TiE Institute program is integrating with all the other offerings we have been able to provide over the years. The Institute participants are also candidates for mentoring because they have ideas and they are looking for mentoring. Institute participants participate in TiE Quest and all the other programs. So I am very hopeful that in the next couple of years we will be able to see many more success stories coming out of TiE Institute. And this is very critical and this is very important because entrepreneurship is the engine of economic growth and productivity and job creation in our country. So fostering entrepreneurs and encouraging them to start becoming business owners is a priority, and we have taken on that priority. The motivation to own your own business is at the high time today. Given the economic situation we are facing, the motivation to become business owner and to start on your own is very, very critical. When we started TiE Institute, we deliberately kept the program open to everybody. But however, we focused on two clear demographics. One was youth, other was newcomers to Canada. Why youth? Youth have tremendous energy. They have innovative ideas. They are more adept with technology. And they're much more enthusiastic. And you know, I was just speaking to some of our friends who participated in the competition. The job market is still terrible. No more than 30% of the graduating MBA class in major business schools here got placement in the campus. 70% of them are still looking for. Entrepreneurship is not necessarily an alternate career. I won't say that if you can't find a job, you become an entrepreneur. People are now choosing to become entrepreneur on their own. And if we are able to provide that opportunity to youth, I think we are doing something great. And the second demographic we were working on was newcomers to Canada. It's well known that over 50% of the technology companies in Silicon Valley were started by, they called foreign-born persons. Immigrants are not just doing technology. About 36% of hotel owners in North America are immigrants. In fact, we had CEO of Boston Pizza, Jim, traveling in our session just a little while ago, a few months ago, and he mentioned that 25% of franchise owners in Boston Pizza are people of Indian origin. Indians and immigrants have been doing very well in taking over business, adopting businesses, and becoming business owners. Immigrants have 18 times higher propensity to start on their own. This is based on a study from Kaufman Foundation, which tracks entrepreneurial activity in general, and they did some study on immigrant entrepreneurs. Well, Canada's point-based system has brought in a number of qualified persons who are ready to start. And so we have lots of doctors and lots of engineers and MBAs and lawyers who are immigrating, starting a new career and new life, and they're looking for opportunities. The impetus which brings them to migrate to a new country itself is entrepreneurial in nature, and that gives them an opportunity to take additional risk in becoming their own business owners. So we're very happy that we started TiE Institute at the right time. The timing could not have been better. In fact, after we started TiE Institute, now the Canadian government has been debating and thinking about so-called startup visa. There have been discussion on bringing in people who would become entrepreneurs right away. And so there is a recognition on immigrant entrepreneurship, and not just TiE Institute, but others are also thinking. Fortunately, the opportunities to start on your own have improved considerably. If you are starting your own business, especially on the technology side, the capex requirement has gone down considerably. If you look at it, Microsoft or Dell or Google or Facebook, they were either started in a dorm room or in a garage with a very little capital requirement. I would even add Polar Mobile was started in a dorm room. And so many of these companies can be started with a very small capital expenditure and have a potential to grow very, very big. So the opportunities to start are there. Similarly, there are opportunities to buy an existing business. Canada is undergoing a demographic tsunami. The baby boomers are reaching the age of retirement. About, as per a major study by a Canadian bank, 1/3 of small business owners are looking to sell because they are reaching a stage where their children do not want to acquire or take over, and they want to move on because they want to retire. So there are huge, if you go to just Google business for sale, you will find tremendous amount of listings where businesses are available to buy. So the opportunities for people to become entrepreneurs, either in an existing business or starting on their own business, are huge. And therefore, I think our timing was great. And that is the reason we see a huge level of interest. In our very first year, over 300 participants participated. So I'd like to congratulate the team of TiE Institute who brought together this program and created the successful, led by Mukesh Gupta as chair and Lalit Guglani as program director, who put together this program, and you will hear a little bit later about the success of the program. And they were both very ably supported by Carl Miranda, who has been present in every session and have supported all the backup of the session. When they met about a year ago, and we wanted to design the program, at that time we were very careful on, we did study on various types of entrepreneurial education programs which are there in US as well as in Europe, and try to design some basic principles on how a high quality entrepreneurial education program can be delivered. One of the key things was we looked and researched that entrepreneurial skills can be developed. So we were trying to work on a basic principle of developing life skills. The skill, the attitude, the mindset can be brought in entrepreneurial. You probably know of a story of identical twins who were both tested for over 10,000 different DNA markers. One of them was convicted for a heinous crime, and the other was an upstanding citizen. And no genetic research could really define what was the difference between them. But similarly, in fact, Peter Drucker wrote that entrepreneurship is not in the genes. It is in the learning process, and entrepreneurial skills can be taught. So that was the basic principle we focused on. And secondly, we worked on designing a package which was interactive. Lots of opportunities for participants to interact, present, come forward with their ideas, and debate about those ideas and help them improve those ideas. So that was the very important principle. Third main principle was that one size does not fit all. So we wanted to bring in the experience from all kinds of entrepreneurs, as well as encourage the participants to go through a mentoring process, go through a competitive process, and things like that, so that they can develop. And more importantly, we were looking at the future. So we tried to create a model which is scalable. So every session was live webcast. We have developed about 70 odd videos on different sessions, which can be watched again and again, and you can learn from them again and again. And that was a huge, scalability was a critical element. And the fifth more important feature was to obtain feedback, and I know some of the feedback forms are still outstanding, to obtain feedback and improve the program as we learn from the experience we have. So that has, and I would say again that this team has done fantastic in designing, developing, and delivering the program, which embodied all these 5 principles which we had outlined in the beginning. In fact, just today I received a congratulatory note by an email from our CEO of TiE Global, PK Agarwal. I'll read. It gives me an immense pleasure to congratulate TiE Institute team for successfully organizing comprehensive entrepreneurial education program. The videos you have created are of immense value to TiE, and various chapters of TiE will be using this valuable resource again and again. TiE Global is proud of your contribution to the ecosystem. And this is not the only email. My inbox is full of various messages congratulating all the effort done by TiE Institute. In fact, so much so that many of our partner organizations who provided us the marketing tools as well as provided us the sponsorship dollars are very happy with the program as it was delivered. In fact, OCE has approached us and asked Lalit Gurani, our program director, to lead an entrepreneurial boot camp, which will be concentrated, very intense program for entrepreneurs which have been pre-selected for develop that program and enhance the scope of TiE Institute. So I'm very proud of that. However, these emails and these messages and these programs are not our yardstick for measuring success. Our own yardstick is the success stories we are able to create. So we will measure the performance of TiE Institute based on how much financing these entrepreneurs have been able to raise, whether they have been able to hire teams and expand their work, whether they have been able to acquire customers, and ultimately have they got an exit or have they done a going public transaction. So we want to measure ourselves from the success stories of our entrepreneurs, our participants, and not just from the messages from various participating organizations. So thank you very much for coming, and thank you very much for sharing this important day with us. And now it's my humble duty to invite Ratna Madan. Thank you very much for agreeing to become our commencement speaker. Ratna herself immigrated in the early 1980s, and like many of the immigrants here, she did not find a welcome mat. She was a qualified and a successful and experienced teacher, but she did not start as teaching, which turned out to be good for the community and good for us, because she spent her lifetime working with immigrants and helping on immigrant issues. So for an institute where we are focusing one of the key demographic as educating immigrants, we could not have found a better speaker who understands immigrant concerns and understands immigrants. So Ratna started with Access and went on to found various organizations like TiE, which is the Toronto Regional Toronto Regional Immigrant Employment Council. She also is on the Greater Toronto Civic Action Alliance, and she is on Connect Legal, which provides the legal aid to immigrants. Ratna is also heading Maytree Foundation, which is devoting entirely to immigrant causes in terms of research, support, policy, and whatnot. Ratna was awarded the Order of Ontario, and Globe and Mail defined her as National Builder of the Decade. So thank you very much, Ratna, for coming, and here is Ratna.